Welcome to Selenium with C# training session 19. In today's session, you can learn how to zoom labels and how to highlight element with the help of IJavascriptExecutor. So IJavascriptExecutor interface in Selenium WebDriver allows the user to set the zoom label of the window. Zoom out, it can be, we can zoom out like which is less than one or which is more than one, right? Suppose say by default our window will be maximized by 100%, zoom level will be 100%, but if you want to reduce it to suppose say 50%, 60% or maybe 200%, 150%, then how can we do that, right? So that we use the IJavascriptExecutor and we can use document.body.style.zoom, which is the method available in the IJavascriptExecutor, and with the help of this method we can set the zoom level of our window. Okay, so let's try to see how we can zoom our window based on our requirement. So whenever the page will be open, right, so by default if you see, right, it zoom percentage is actually 100%. So by default whenever it will be opened by your Selenium, right? So but how we can zoom it with the help of automation script to suppose say 60%, 70%, 80% or maybe more than 100%, right? So how can we do that with the help of our script? So that's approach we will learn in that session. So this is our script I already designed so far for opening any web page, right? So I will be creating a object code instance for the IJavascriptExecutor interface. So it's an interface, right? So I will be creating the interface by typecasting the driver, as we did not we cannot create the object code instance for the interface directly. So that is the reason we have to typecast the driver instance, right? So it's already created now, right? Then now with the help of the object whatever I have created for the JavaScript executor, and I can zoom the web page. So definitely there is an execute script method is already available. So I'll be calling it, and I'll be calling other method, right? Document.body.style.zoom, right? So I'll be calling document.body.style.zoom. Here whatever zoom you want to do, you need to provide that one with the single code. Suppose I want to zoom by 200%, so it will be 2, right? So let's try to run the code and let's see how it is working, how the page is getting open, maximize, the page is getting loaded, after that it will be zoomed by 200%, so that is the reason I have given is 2. So with the help of IJavascriptExecutor and the method which is nothing but the document.body.style.zoom, we can zoom our web page whatever or window whatever will be opened by our automation script. So it is opening the page, opening the browser, maximizing browser, trying to load the Facebook URL. Once the URL is fully loaded, it will zoom it by 200%. You can see that it is getting zoomed by 200%. By now if you open it, you can see it is already zoomed by 200%, means zoom, it's two times it's zoomed, right, the page. Okay, so by default it will be 100% zoom, but if you can zoom it, right, zoom out to more or less. Now I will you can see that if you want to zoom it to less than 1%, right, so it will be value from 0 to any number of numeric value. So suppose if you want to zoom it by 50% or 60% or 67%, like I can give 0.67, so it will be zoomed by 2/3, right? Whatever original size was, that will be zoomed by 2/3, right? Let's try to run the script and let's see how it is getting zoomed. So zoom out will happen based on the value we are entering in the equal sign, right? It can be any decimal value. So whatever, right, zoom will be there by default, so I can multiply the zoom with the help of that value. In case I am giving 0.67, it will be definitely it will be 0.67%. Originally 200, so it will be 67%. You can see the zoom is happening, right, 67%. So in case if you want to zoom it 1.5%, you can give the value called 1.5. If you want to zoom it 1.25%, so you can give it there, right? So that's why you can give the zoom value, so it will be decimal value, right, including integer as well. Okay, so that's why you can zoom out your web page or window. Okay, So IJavascript executor allows the user to set the zoom level, zoom out to be less than or greater than 1 while running the code, and document.body.style.zoom is used to set the zoom level on the web page. Then the next thing is that suppose say you are working on any web page, right? You are doing suppose as a manual testing as well. So suppose whenever you are encountering a defect, right, you need to do some highlighting of the element, right, which element it is showing error, or you need to give some border, you need to I mean whenever you're taking the screenshot, you need to coloring with different shades, right? So that's kind of stuff you need to do it. Then automation thing is that whenever you are you want to highlight an element, right, how can you do that? How you can do the border color change, background color change, right, border pixel fills, all this stuff you can do it. So user can highlight the element using IJavascript executive interface. First, user must find the element uniquely. Style.background color change the background of the element to the custom color. So there will be two approach we can use it. So we'll be calling the execute skip method, and we'll be identifying the element with the help of get element by the ID, and we can use the style, right, based on that. Another one is that we will be identifying the element with the help of element locator technique. It can be ID, name, class, CSS, anything. After that we will be calling the execute script, right, and we will be setting the attributes. So that is the two approaches available in Selenium WebDriver, where you can highlight the element, we can fill the background color, we can fill the right border, and we can fill the border color as well, right. So let's try to understand both the approach to identifying the element and highlighting it in different color, right. So here the same approach IJavascript executor will be used. So I already created the object or instance. So I will be using that object, and I will be calling the execute skip method, right. And here, so I will be using another fast approach where I will be calling the get element by ID, name, or that one, right. So here I will be using document. Okay, I will be identifying element document.get element by ID. So here I can provide the ID here, right. I will be providing the ID here. Sorry, it should be there. I need to provide the ID here. ID. So suppose say I want to identify the Facebook, open the Facebook page, and I want to highlight that email field, right. So I need to inspect the element. So definitely for the email field there is so many ID or name is available. I think the ID is also email here for the email field. So with the get element by ID I can identify it, right. You can see the ID is email. So with that email I can identify the element, right. So it will be document document. In case anything is misspelled, right, it will not work. Document document dot get element by, and there within single quote I need to give the email ID here, and I will be closing the bracket. I will be pressing dot, then style dot background color, background GROUND color COLOR. Here I need to give the color of the background. Suppose say in case if you want to go with red or green, you can press anything, green, right. And you need to end with double quote, you need to end the bracket, you need to end the semicolon. I think that code is working fine. So you need to call the execute skip method and document dot get element by ID, and the ID you need to press where ID need to identify whatever element you want to identify. Then style dot background color equal to green, so that it will be highlighted by the green color. The element will be identified and it will be highlighted by the green color. So let's see how it's behaving. So it will open the web browser, right, Chrome browser. It will maximize the browser. It will load the Facebook page. Once the Facebook page is loaded, it will identify the element with the help of get element by ID, which will be emails field, and then it will highlight the background color with the green, right. You can see the color is getting changed, background color is getting changed to green, right. So my code is working fine. Now say if you want to change it some orange or red color, right, then how can you do it? So here you can change it to orange. or red, right? So you need to give that color name here. Okay, so let's try to run the code and let's see whether now it is displayed with the red color. Background color is getting filled in the red. So this is the one approach, right, where you can fill your background color, okay, with the help of get element by method, right? Document.getElement by ID, name, all this stuff. So now Facebook page is getting open. Element, email field will be identified, and you can feel the color is getting filled with the red, right? So this is the one approach or first approach you could see here. Okay, this is the first approach for highlighting the element with some background color, right? The next approach is that we need to first create a web element. I need to identify the web element. So I am creating web element. Suppose say this is the email field. So email text field, I am creating the variable and I am identifying the element with the help of driver dot find element, right, by name or by ID, whatever is there, or by XPath, link text, all this stuff. By name, I can identify it because name is also email. So that web element has been created for the email field, right? You can see here the name is also email, ID is email, right? With any of them I can identify the element. Next thing is that once element is identified, right, so I'll be calling that object whatever I have created for the JavaScript executor dot again ExecuteScript method I need to call here, right? And then here I need to pass argument. Here I will be calling arguments arguments, arguments, third bracket, the 0, argument 0. Then I need to call dot set attribute method, dot set attribute. What attribute I want to set here? I need to give here style within first single quote style attribute. Then I need to close it and I need to give some comma, and here what are the important thing you want to do, you need to give it. Suppose say I want to fill the background color, so here it will be background color again, GROUND, just the CSS property, right? Background color, colored, colon, whatever you want to fill it here. Suppose say I want to fill the background color called amber, right? I need to close, need to give first bracket, need to go into semicolon, and you need to give the second bracket here, and you need to give comma here, and this is the field number you need to give it, right? This is my email field, you need to give it here. I need to end with semicolon again. I think there is no error message. So JavaScript executor and ExecuteScript method, then argument 0, I want to set the attribute, what I want to set style, and what I want to fill here background color I want to change with amber or yellow, right? Okay, let's see with yellow, and this is the field I want to identify. Now let's try to run it. So this is my second approach, right? So instead of with directly calling the element with the help of different properties, get element by ID, I will be identifying the element, right, with the help of any element locator technique, and I am storing in some IOAB element, and after that I am calling it. I want to change the different style, right, property or CSS property through which I want to highlight the element. So let's see whether it's working or not. Okay, you could see it is highlighting with yellow color, right? So my code is working completely fine. Okay, now let's see, I want to add more details, right? Instead of only that background field, right, I want to give some border, and I want to shadow with some different color the border, right? So let's see how we can do that. So the same approach I will be using it. So I will be adding few more attribute here. So it will be set attribute style. Instead of background color, I can change it to background. Suppose say the background I want to change it with green, right? And then I need to, if you give multiple attribute, you need to end with semicolon. You need to differentiate with semicolon, right? Then I want to change with another thing called background. I already changed it, right? Then I need to change with another thing called, say, border, 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 and again semicolon and sorry, colon. So here you need to give, suppose I want to change the border called 3 pixel, right, and solid different color called orange color, right? And then I need to end with another semicolon, and then single quote, and then bracket, then semicolon, and then that is the syntax, and again email field will be there. So whatever I am adding it here, I want to add multiple attributes. So my background or background color will be green, and I want to do some bordering, right? So that it will be border in some different color. So border will be 3 pixel color and solid orange fields, right? So let's try to run your code and let's see how it is behaving. So this is the few of the important CSS attribute or set property you can learn, and definitely after that you can use whatever you require to highlight your element with different background or the border field. You could see here the color here is getting entered as green, and a border is amber and is 3 pixel, right? Now say if you want to highlight your border with 5 pixels, say, right? So you can change it, or 2 pixel with different color, right? So you can change it accordingly. So suppose say I want to give it with 5 pixel and solid red color, right? So that you can highlight it at your, so your background will be green and your field will be red, right? So that's how you can do it. Now let's try to run the code and let's see how it is behaving. So again it will be same thing, background will be green, but your solid field will, whatever field will be there, just like that layout will be with 5 pixel, it will be solid, and the color will be red only. So that's why you can highlight your element before taking any screenshot, right? Because in the real-time automation also you are trying to automate and you are trying to take the screenshot for pass or fail. So you can highlight the element whatever you are validating it, right? You could see here now, yeah, you could see the background color is getting entered with getting selected as green, and it is 5 pixel border and its color is red. So that's why you can highlight your element whatever is really required, right, before capturing any screenshot, right? So in case of any deviation, pass or fail, and if you want to validate any particular element, and if you want to highlight the element with some font or some background color and with some pixel, right, border pixel, you can do it, right? So that is the important aspects. Like today I tried to cover it, like how you can zoom the labels, right? It can be more than one or less than one as well, so it can be some decimal value, and how you can highlight with the two approach. We can directly take the like element property called ID or name. Otherwise we can store with the help of IO element, right, in some IO element variables, and after that we can call the execute script and we can set the attributes to different color, right, different attribute. In case more attribute is there, we will be distinguished with semicolon, and whatever attribute we need to use it, right, we will be differentiating with colon, right? So that is the different topics I tried to cover today. Thank you.